Hello, welcome to Ron's T-Bone Shed. So I want to show you some stuff. This is the 30th, the last day of April 2020. Is it 2025 already? Man, I'm losing track of time. Anyway, we're heading into the middle of the year. So tomorrow is May 1st. So I've got some traded items from my buddy Will Kelly down in Oklahoma, and he sent me a couple cool horns that many of you probably don't know anything about. So I'm going to show them to you and talk about them a little bit. Here we go. First thing up here, this is a York National. Some of you know what Yorks are, some of you don't. York was around in the late 1800s and produced fantastic brass instruments. They were known for their low brass, their tubas and their euphoniums and baritones. And they made bass trombones, which you cannot find anywhere. I think they're just being hoarded by secret society because they were apparently really fantastic. And I've never seen one. So here's the York. You can see it's got the kind of the, what do you call that? Six-sided counterweight up here, which reminds me a lot of the later Blessings. There's a round, but check out this bell flare. Look at that. It's so conical. And this is so quintessential of York back in the 1950s. This was after they were J.W. York in the early 1900s, late 1800s. So well known. York was well known back in the day. It's funny because the way it's spelled looks like Yark. It's not really an O, it's like an A, Yark. The York National was part of their master line, and their master line in the 1950s was being built in Germany by Baum and Meinl, who made, again, fantastic low brass valved instruments. But Baum and Meinl were making York's master line, not necessarily their student line. I mean, they also had horns under the name of Acme. They had the USA line, which were their student lines, and those were made, I believe, in the York factory. But yeah, they even had their own brass made for them so they could get that York sound. Now, I've got another one of these in my shed, but this one's going to get refinished. So I just wanted to show you how patinaed and oxidized it is with a lot of the lacquer missing. Thankfully, the tuning slide's not all bent up. You know, slide's in pretty good condition. I was able to, you know, here, look. It's good. The slide's in great condition, so that's less work for me. And it's going to make it really easy for me to strip and polish and re-lacquer this horn and bring it back to some former glory of it that it had. But these were quite solid horns, heavy gauge. Listen to that. I mean, literally, it's a ship bell. Heavy gauge, and what I found when I play the Yorks is they speak immediately. You just put your mouthpiece in, blow, and boom, sound comes right out, straight forward. I wouldn't call it a warm sound. I would call it a direct sound, but I wouldn't call it a bright sound either because of that bell flare. So it's a very open and direct sounding horn. Apparently they were very popular with the military, which is understandable considering that a lot of what they played was outdoors, and this is totally an outdoor horn designed for the outdoors and projection outdoors. It's not for what I would call small ensemble, small space playing. So there we go, the York National, part of the Master Series, and this one's going to be a lot of fun, so stay tuned for that. Over here, earlier I did a Getzen rescue. I'm doing a Getzen rescue, so here it is all de-dented and polished up, at least the bell section is. I was working on the slide, but the slide is really so damaged, there's not much I can do about it, but that came out really beautiful. Look at this. I mean, there's some damage here, right? We saw that in the video. I was fixing it. But I mean, overall, it's in fantastic shape. Everything's moving good. Got a lot of the major dents out of the gooseneck. You know, braces look nice, so I'm going to continue to polish this up, and then I will give it some lacquer. The slide looks good. I got the dents out of the crook, but it's just not cooperating when it comes to function. You know, it's just not there. I mean, I've tried a lot of things, a lot of my tricks, and I think there's just some damage to it. And then it doesn't have a slide lock, so I don't know what happened. This is the one that came from the kid who got it saved it from the trash in the LA USD. So I think I've got some parts, so I may be able to just kind of swap most of the slide out and make sure it's functional and get it ready to go in the vintage case. So there's the update on the Getzen. Get this case cut here. And then I have a really cool and unique horn here that also came from Will. And some of you out there will be familiar with the name because the mouthpieces are still made today, and that is Rudy Muk. So in New York, Rudy Muk was a horn designer and a mouthpiece maker. So he actually didn't make instruments, but he had them designed to certain specifications and he marketed them. Now this one is a professional lead jazz trombone, which I believe might have been made by Kahn, because the slide matches the exact dimensions and bore of a 30H Berkel. It's a dual bore. So it's about 494 here, and it's about 508 up here, 507, 508, which, like I said, exactly matches the Berkel. The difference is little tweaks that he made is that the slide lock is back here on the back, and then this is a removable lead pipe. So this little nut comes off here, which is funny because it's almost the exact same nut that's on my Con 100H. So you take this off, and then the lead pipe in here comes out. I can't take it out with my fingernails, but you get a mouthpiece in there and twist, the whole lead pipe comes out, so you can put other lead pipes in there. I don't know what other lead pipes he sold. I suppose I could probably get some made or talk to the Brass Arc or somebody if I wanted to try something different. But it's a relatively long lead pipe. It goes from here all the way down to here, and it's very responsive. Got a nice relatively heavy bell on it. Again, another ship bell kind of feeling here. It's got the etching on the bell here. It says Rudy Muk, and it's got, you know, a little map of the US on there. So I'm not entirely sure what model it is because it doesn't say what model it is, but it's got a six-digit serial number, which would indicate that it's one of the later ones that they made that might have also been made by Baum and Meinl or somebody in England. But yeah, I tried seeing if this would fit the 30H bell, and it doesn't. The tubes are wider than they are on the 30H. So even though the distance is right, that would go in, but the tubes are wider than the sleeve bores on the 30H. And then the 30H is different. It has a much more conical flare on it. This one's fairly conical, but this is smaller. So I got it together. I put it, I had to make some adjustments here to the brace because the slide was too close to the bell. So now there's some clearance. And then I came down here and put a new cork in it, put a new rubber on the bumper, not a rubber baby buggy bumper, but a rubber on the bumper. And this was caved in several places, and I smoothed that out. So when I'm done with this is going to get all, I got a little ding here, so I got to fine tune that one. I will get this one all stripped, polished, and also relacquered, and I've got a case for it. But right now, those are the three cool horns that we have for today. So we have the Rudy Muk. I'm not sure, it's not a citation. The citations look a lot like the old Supras where they have the flared flanges on here, but this isn't that one. This is a different model, a different pro model. We have the York National, which was one of their higher end Yorks, okay, and then we have the Getzen over here. And I've got some other stuff working. Like right now I'm stripping the slide for a late 1940s Martin committee. So I got to get that finished, get that all stripped. These older committees are cool because the slide lock is flush with the cork barrel. It's kind of neat. This is your Martin, signature Martin receiver. And then the bell is already, I've got the bell already stripped and ready to be buffed. Let me close this case up here. See here. And we open this. Actually, it didn't come, the Martin didn't come with this case. A friend of mine, Dave from Bones West, he brought it over to a little event we had on Saturday called the Boneyard from John Sandhagen. And I said, is that yours? He goes, yeah. He goes, you want it? And I'm like, sure, how much? He goes, $10. So I'm going to give him $10 on Saturday. But yeah, I've got the bell all stripped. That's a 7-inch bell. Okay. And there we go. The Martin committee model. Yeah, late 40s. Like the one I already have. It's all brass. Got it all mostly dedented. I'll take that little one out there. But this also had a caved in tuning crook, which I pushed out. And you know, that screw there, the tenon nut for the slide, goes flush under the slide too. It's just really elegant design. Martin was really nice. And I was talking earlier about York. People who worked for York and early on in their careers before they had their own companies, Martin was one of them, Reynolds was one of them, and Bach was one of them. So Bach, making still the finest trombones today. Actually, it's Conn-Selmer and Underbach, but Bach, Martin, okay, and Martin's real popular horns and played by Irby Green, and the Reynolds, of course. Reynolds made some really fantastic horns too. And I've got a bunch of stuff ready to go. I got to get going. Here's a Conquest. Here's another Conquest, and here's another I just love the 77H, and I pick them up every time I can find them. So we're going to get those out and ready to go. Again, if you don't remember what the Conquest is, the 77H. It's basically a 6H with a 7.5-inch bell and no nickel crook. Everything else is the same. It's a fantastic jazz horn. Let's see what else I got here. I got this 63 Medalist. I'm going to get that one ready to go. And I've got about 5 of these Getzen 300s because I did the play test on it. And so many of you thought this was the Pro horn, not the 6H. So I've been hoarding a couple of these, and I'm going to get these ready to sell too. So watch my YouTube channel, watch Facebook Marketplace, look at my social media, and also take a look at Reverb. I would rather sell them over Facebook Marketplace to avoid the Reverb sales fees. Transaction's still pretty much going to be the same, but you know, look in both places. If you want to buy my horns a little bit cheaper, hit me up on Facebook Marketplace. But if you want the security of a professional sales website, then feel free to go to reverb.com and go there. And yeah, I've got a bunch of some Olds Ambassadors. I've got another Selmer Signet here I'm going to be restoring. I've got, no, that's mine. That's a 42, 46 Old Standard. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff getting ready to go. So watch closely. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you about. I was working on 3 King Tempo trombones for Bell High School. Well, I got them all done. They're right here in the cases, and I'm getting ready to deliver them, but let me open one up and show you what I got done with them. Okay, I got this one up here. You can see it says Bell on it. It's in this old Bundy case, green Bundy case. I always thought these were kind of cool. I mean, they're built like the Con case, but they're the only ones that made them green, I think, were Bundy. But yeah, look at that. So these were brown and ugly and damaged. This one had more severe damage around the bell, but I got that all pretty much pushed out. I mean, yeah, there's a little compromised stuff in there, but and you can see they etched on it, you know, to make sure that they knew it was a school horn. And I went ahead and I knocked out all the dents in their tuning crook, and their slide had a hole in it, so I put a patch on it because, you know, I'm not replacing parts here. And so we got the slide all polished up, and it works nice and super smooth. So all 3 horns are basically done. This is the one that had the worst damage to it, but it's completely and 100% functional now. You can see here it says Bell done. So that's my good deed. 3 completely repaired, refinished, working trombones with my services 100% donated. So if I ever get to 500, I just hit 340 on subscribers. If I get to 500, I'll be able to put that little super thanks donation button on there. And then those of you who are my viewers and supporters, out of the kindness of your heart, if you feel like throwing me a couple bucks to help pay for some of the free work I do for some of these schools, that would be great. So anyway, that's it today, April 30th, 2025. That's what I got going, and lots of stuff. So stay tuned, get your bank accounts ready, and buy some horns from me, because it's my only source of income. and I need to buy tooth too. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.